Mitch Feaster. If you're looking for a magic bullet for patellar tendonitis or patellar tendinopathy, there's a few things that come to mind. The first is knees over toes guy. This guy, Ben Patrick, the doctors told him he would never play basketball again, and now he spends his time teaching people how to rehab and strengthen their knees, going from excruciating pain, or what he calls knee ability zero, the title of his book, to going to just being, just from playing, being able to play pain-free, which is, I think, the goal, especially if you have knee pain. So the first strategy he uses is called ROKP, which stands for reversing out of knee pain. And this is something that that people back in old China used to do. They would walk backwards, and this is going to help strengthen your toes. And since it strengthens your toes, this strengthening then transfers from your toes to your ankle, right up the Achilles, and then up the calves, right into your knees. So if you got a treadmill, you could walk backwards on a treadmill turned off. You could use a cable machine and a belt attachment at your local gym and just walk backwards with the cable machine. You could pull a sled going backwards. You could just walk backwards on the beach or in your backyard if you got some room. You could use a couple loop resistance bands tied together on a tree or something sturdy to walk backwards and then forwards, backwards and then forwards. So there's a lot of options just based on what you have access to. If you got a gym membership, or maybe there's a beach close to you. So a lot of options in regards to doing some ROKP, reversing out of knee pain. What else could we do? I would search for knee pain. I would search Kador Zayani, 7 postures. This guy, again, he's 49 years old, and he could dunk on a 10-foot hoop barefoot. And he's got these simple stretches that will help you develop an optimal surplus of strength, flexibility, and mobility, starting from the toes, working all the way up. And since your body's connected from fingers to toes, as you start to strengthen your toes and your feet, you're going to feel much more confident in the knees. You're going to feel it's basically cure that pain, because if you can strengthen your foundation, right, a pyramid is only as tall as its base. If you could strengthen your foundation, which is your toes and your feet, then you're gonna feel an improvement, not only a relief of pain, but you're just gonna feel more. You're gonna feel stronger. You're gonna feel more explosive and balanced up into that knee. So he's got a book out, right? Kador Zayani. The book is called 7 Postures, but he's got hundreds of videos, almost maybe thousands of videos online that'll help you learn. Just dip your toes into some of these positions, right? He shows you all these positions online for free, and I would just get started, right? 1 minute a day, developing just strength and flexibility in the toes, and it's just going to transfer that strength all the way up into that patellar tendon. So give that a try. The next thing that comes to mind, if you think about, right, there's a quote that goes, "You spend a lot of time in 2 places: your bed and your feet, or your shoes." So if you can invest in a minimalist shoe, then what's going to happen is each step you take is actually going to strengthen your feet. Most shoes people wear actually make their feet grow weaker because they're restricted in the ankle because there's a thick heel. Their shoes are usually too tight, too narrow, which means your feet can't absorb the shock from your body and from the ground, because it doesn't it constricts your ability of your feet to expand, right? If you take a look on each step you take, you'll notice your feet kind of expand with each step. Also, most shoes don't allow a free range of motion in your toes, so now your ability to absorb shock with your toes and create power with your toes, again, is going to restrict your ability for your feet to grow stronger. So if you invest in a pair of minimalist shoes, that is something that's effortless, right? Just investment a few bucks, it's going to completely change the trajectory of your life, because each step you take, you'll be able to get stronger. So there's shoes that I've fallen in love with. They're called xeroshoes.com, XERO shoes.com. And right, I have no affiliation with this company. I wish I did, But the reason I love them is because they look like shoes that you could go out to a nice dinner and still they're still minimalist shoes, so they're super comfortable. They're probably the most comfortable pair of shoes I've ever worn, and you could feel the mobility in the shoes where you wear them, and yet they're super durable, right? They've lasted me. I think I busted through a pair. You know, I think one pair of their shoes lasted me a whole year, and I'm sure I could have fixed them if I wanted to. I've also used their sandal, which lasted an extremely long time. So definitely check out that pair of shoes. The last thing I'll suggest is investing in an RMT rope. It's an RMT rope, and you want to search David Weck, WECK, RMT rope. This is something that's effortlessly going to help you develop balance in your feet, in your ankle, in your legs, and in your knees. That's not only going to improve that tendon pain, but it's going to improve your agility. It's going to improve in your explosiveness, your balance, your timing, your rhythm, your coordination. When I started using it, I noticed my juggling improved, which improved my passing and shooting. All of your attributes will improve as you swing this rope around because your body's connected from fingers to toes. And so what I've been saying that it's like for $10, you could have this rope that you can bring everywhere you go. And as you swing it around, it's just going to make you a better soccer player, bar none. I brought this to Europe. I brought this rope to Italy. I brought this rope to Germany. It prevents against pickpockets, right? It's almost like it looks, once you start swinging this thing around, it looks like you start to know Kung Fu. So the guy who invented it, David Weck, he says, if you could only learn one pattern, you want to learn the alternating underhand sneak. It improves your running mechanics because it forces you to whip your arms down and then pop your knee up, right? So it took me a few days to learn, but I promise you, if you learn this alternating underhand sneak, you're gonna feel just so much more balance. You're gonna feel stronger in your feet and in your legs. So this is one thing that's made me feel, right? I'm 10 times better the player I was 10 years ago playing D1 soccer. 13 years ago playing D1 soccer. So give this a try and just test it out. See what you think. I'm gonna leave you with those 4 exercises and reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.